How do you manifest the life you want? This is a question that I want to come back to. I've never taught on this before, and yet I hear it everywhere. Everyone's coming back to this idea of creating the energy to manifest. How do you manifest in your life and what that means? And manifesting would simply be by whatever desires are given to your heart, bringing them out and making them a reality in the real 3D world in which you live. The aspects that have been taught on it have been so varied. You go to one extreme, like if you remember that book and the little movie called The Secret, it's almost just by thinking alone that it somehow poof materializes. Well, again, everything has a nugget of truth in it, but there's more pieces to that. Then you have other people on the other side who will talk about the visualization aspect, breaking it down, which I like some of this. We're breaking it down into visualizing the pieces, and then the result comes out. Other people say, you don't think about the how or what the pieces are. You think about the end result, you imagine living it like it's your reality, and the how takes care of itself. That all these things, coincidences, things come into place because you've already visualized what it looks like and visualized yourself living in it. Joe Dispenza is one of the classic teachers of this. And I believe that there is a little bit of truth in each one. So I want to just put together my piece of manifestation and give it to you. And of course, you guys know, as a pastor's kid and one who's just dearly in love with the source of all that is, I come back sometimes to a reference to scriptures. So don't be offended by that, learn from it. And in the Bible, Jesus says this quote. He goes, when you pray as if you already have received and it will be given to you. Now, it's a really bold thing, because you think about, okay, so how do I pray for something, but at the same time, assuming I've already received it? So what do you say in the prayer if you're not asking for it, but you're imagining you've already received it? And I think there are steps in that. I think on one hand, you have to listen to your heart, give yourself permission just to be able to imagine what is it you would love to have happen, regardless of all the other, I don't know how it would happen, forget all that. What would you just love to have happen? And become at peace with it and sit in it. And just go, I would love for this to happen. I'd love to, meet the woman of my dreams. I'd love to be financially free and out of debt. I'd love to be able to travel. I'd love to live a life of calm and solitude. I'd love to simplify my life. Whatever the picture is that brings you peace, that resonates in your heart, first of all, just be good with it. Don't try to figure out how. Don't try to think of this. Just be good with the image of it, first of all. And a lot of times what I find in coaching guys is they almost have to give themselves permission to dream. It's like, I don't think I should, and for years, I grew up feeling very conservative in my religious upbringing, that I sacrifice, it's not about my desires, I'm just here to take care of other people, and I don't have a right to ask for things that are selfish or just for me. And what I realized is that the things that were given to me and given to my heart were given for a reason. And when I live fully alive and I have those, I end up being a better blessing and a better provider for the people around me, and a joy to be around, where people love being around my energy. So there's a part where you first have to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to listen to what's in your heart, what you would love to see happen for yourself. And once you give yourself that permission, then live in it. And I used to do this with the question, I still do it all the time, it's part of my coaching actually, is to take a day in your life and live it out. And this is like 5 years in the future. Everything's already come together. The things you want, the things you live, and just live that day. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What are you doing? Who's in your life? What are the characteristics of your mindset? How you carry yourself, how you present yourself to the world, how it feels to be you, where are you living, who are you waking up in the morning, and do a daily journal, like literally from the time you wake up in the morning on your pillow, and who's there and where you are, where you live, what your house looks like, what are you doing, all those things, visualize that whole day and just live in it. Now, here's where I do believe that is very helpful. I've found that the times when I've taken the time to do that, and by the way, I really think it's less, even after I've done this teaching for all these years, I don't even think it's 10% of the guys I've told to do this have actually made this exercise happen. And it's a mistake, because when you can do this, and I recently redid it for myself, outlined what I'm doing, what it's like to come in the office with the people I want to be with, who they are, their energy, what my persona is characterized by, how I feel in the moment, who I'm with, all these different things come together. And I had to relive that. And the benefit is, once you do live in it, there is a benefit to you. When you can do that richly and feel it and see it on an emotional basis, your subconscious doesn't know the difference that isn't real, because you've lived it and you've vividly seen it. And what it does is it actually creates a GPS, a guidance system that's going to guide and bring into your life the things that it thinks match that. And so it's almost like, Justin Palm and I were going to do a teaching on this. We called it Success Autopilot. So if you had Success Autopilot, it's like, how can you do things in your life to put these so they automatically come to you, so you don't have to fight and work so hard for them? Because we're always looking for the how. Well, I don't see how it's going to happen. How am I going to make that happen? First, start with just by seeing what it is you want, living that life fully, feeling it, visualizing it, and being there. And allow your subconscious to start looking for those things. I also believe, as you know, in the spiritual realm, and that I believe there are also forces that will bring coincidences for other people and other lives that will come together to actually help fulfill that. My dad once, I told you, it's in my book, and I'll tell it to you again. When I was 25, he gave me this card, this birthday card, and on the front it said, "Act boldly and unseen forces will come to your aid." And I think that's that part of the spirit realm where when you just act boldly and say, this is who I am, this is the life I live, it's like then other people who will affirm that, help bring that to you, end up just coming into your horizon. It's a beautiful thing. So for me, I believe that's the closest thing I would say to manifesting, is first start off without any understanding or expectation or mindset about how that's going to come about, to just live it fully, experience it, and see it for yourself. And the reason this is so powerful is it frees you up from the limitations of just seeing what you can do today. Because this is where we are. I don't see how I can do it. I don't see how it's come together. Well, you can't anticipate the coincidences that are going to happen. You can't anticipate the good fortune. You can't anticipate the guy you happen to meet who just happens to be looking to fund something like you're doing, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. You can't anticipate those things in advance, so you don't know how right now. But just put it out there and see in your mind, in your imagination, live it vividly. This is my life. This is my life. And as you go out, you'll start finding little ways, pieces that come together to you magnetically. And I've just seen this over and over again. The times that I have done this exercise and done this exercise of vividly living it, it has all come together exactly the way I envisioned it. Now think about the opposite. Zig Ziglar used to say, you miss 100% of the shot. No, see, that was Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But Zig Ziglar was saying, to the effect of, if you don't have a target, it doesn't matter where you shoot. You know, and that's what we end up doing. We just shoot, because we think this will help. We think this will help. All circled around the how. Well, first I have to build the money. First I have to go find the network of people. First I have to do this. Those things you will do, but on a path to creating something you already crystally see in your mind. And in addition to that, by acting boldly and living in that, unseen forces will come to your aid. Your subconscious mind will guide you towards things. Coincidental people will come into your life. So live it, enjoy it, anticipate it, that's the future that's been put in your heart for you to have for yourself. That's the best thing I could give to you on manifestation. And the reality that it has worked so many times for so many people, and maybe it's because it taps into the spirit world, maybe it's because it taps your subconscious who will find it for you, but that re-advanced living of the desires of your heart produces it. And then, like in the prayer of Jesus, you give thanks to God. And I believe if you believe in a person of praying, that first of all, you ask. You do put it out there. Say, God, this is the life I would like to live. And you put it in my heart. And so I know you're going to bring it to me one way or another someday. And then the rest of your prayers are thanking him that those things are on your way. So you pray, believing you've already received it. I already know these things are coming. I know this is the life of my future, and I thank you. I thank you. You don't have to keep re-asking. You put your order in. Now you can just simply be grateful that this is the life that's coming to you one way or another. And sometimes, in my case, as I envisioned where I wanted to go, I realized there's a lot of things I had to clear out to get out of the way so I could receive that. And that may be part of your journey too. Getting toxic people out of your life, whatever the case may be, having to be in a new location you didn't anticipate, but if you hadn't been in that new location, you wouldn't have received what was meant for you. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you will commit yourself to doing that, because having that clear vision, something that's beautiful that comes out of you, that you see this life that's so settling and calm and beautiful to you and gets you excited about, adds a richness to life. And it does create what they call manifestation. All right, brothers, strength and honor.